Live. Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Monday, we have a big lineup today. Gianni The Greek is going to join us with the Steam Report. We're going to talk Monday Night Football, early action on college football and NFL. Krackomberger is going to join us. We're going to talk a Monday Night Football prop for the Jaguars Chiefs. Steve Merril going to give you two baseball breakdowns as well as a Monday Night Football breakdown and special treat. Believe it or not, NHL is getting ready to start. So Carmine's going to jump in here at the end, give us a couple of NHL futures, and get us ready for the start of the season. Got a big show. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button. Let's bring in Gianni. It's Monday. We got to get this day started off on the right foot. Gianni, How are you, my friend?
Never better, man. God bless America. What a country. Just making love in betting sports. It's a great country we live in. They're waking up Monday and looking at the accounts. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. But I think a couple are going to be shut down by the end of the day. They just crushed the college football and a lot of those live bets. I can't use them for subscribers. But once they start digging into those live screens and start beating up WNBA and beating up like NFL, college football, they start shutting those down quickly. So just throwing it out there. Anybody got any good credit accounts, hit me up. Let's make some money. But with that said, it's a busy day, busy week ahead. We have baseball today, two playoff games, two big playoff games, especially for my Philadelphia Phillies. Not in a good spot today at all. Last thing I wanted to see were the Dodgers as road favorites in a must-win game for Philadelphia, and starting to see some money coming in on Philadelphia. I do not like that. Just throwing it out there. I don't have a position on the game. You know, I have a future on the Phillies. I have a future on Seattle. So I'm a little bit biased on both of those teams. I'm hoping Philly can get it done as a home dog. But like I said, not liking what I see with that betting line. As far as the Cubs in Milwaukee game goes, good balance, not one-way action. In fact, you're starting to see a little more Cubs money from the recreational bettors that are expecting this series to get evened out. I personally have a 4% on Milwaukee to win this series, so I'm hoping Milwaukee gets the job done today as well. But I don't have anything to report as far as sharp money goes, except for the over in that Milwaukee and the Cubs game. And the over after it dropped to 7.5, because it opened at 8, came down to 7.5, and then that's when you started seeing some over money. So obviously a little difference of opinion on the total between the Cubs and Milwaukee. But again, nothing really big to report there. Real quickly in the NFL, another game where you're seeing a low spread. So it's kind of good two-way action, even though it's the Chiefs as road favors. They're not as one-sided as you would expect. Good balance for the books, and they don't have a lot of risk coming in off of yesterday. Yesterday's Sunday night game, getting the cover for the dog and keeping the game under was a good result for the books. We had a big 4% on the under that came in for us. You got two good defenses. That's what we're looking at with Kansas City and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The number 3 most efficient defense on Kansas City, number 10 most efficient defense for Jacksonville. It's going to be which offense shows up. Obviously, Kansas City's on paper's offense is better than Jacksonville, which is, barely in the top 20 right now. Home field advantage, about 1.8 points for Jacksonville. Strength of schedule so far has been about the same between the two. So it's a tough game to cap, it seems like, from the recreational bettors. Like, they're not all diving in. So it seems like people have a lot more handicapping to do before they get to the window with tonight's game. And we haven't seen any line movement either. Sat at 3.5 was where the opener was, sitting around 3.5. Knowing 3 is such a key number, that's a telling sign that you're not seeing, any real risk yet for the books. As far as the total goes, we saw the total come up and then come back down, meaning it got bet up from 44.5 to 46. And at 46, you saw some under money as well. So there's money all over the place in tonight's baseball and NFL game, which is going to get all the action. And from a market perspective, this is a good day to be a bookmaker. You're going to get a ton of volume, and they're going to end up not having all that much risk on either side. So they'll be able to sweep up that vig. It's one of those days, again, that's good to be a bookmaker.
Let's do a couple look aheads. I know you said we got a little bit of action here opening line.
Oh, yeah.
Teddy just did opening line report where he goes over all the look aheads for this coming up week in NFL. What are you seeing for college and NFL so far?
All right, let's look at college football. A couple of the marquee games. Now, Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, Auburn, no movement at all. Texas open 3, sitting at 3. Auburn open 3.5, sitting at 3.5. But the marquee matchups that we did see movement, we saw Florida State go from the opener of 9.5 got bet and also -10 against Pitt. We saw Missouri get money at +4 and +3.5 also against Alabama as home dogs. We saw Arizona State grab 6 against Utah. We saw BYU -1 over Arizona. Florida, they took 8.5 and they took 8 against A&M. South Carolina, they took the 10 against LSU. And finally, Indiana against a red hot and popular Oregon team. They took the 9.5, they took the 9, they took the 8.5, they took the 8 on Indiana over Oregon. So they bet Florida State, Missouri, Arizona State, BYU, Florida, South Carolina, and Indiana in those marquee matchups. Real quickly in the NFL, a couple of the look ahead lines that had follow through. That's what you want to pay attention to on your odds logic screen. Indianapolis, -3, -125 was the look ahead. They opened it at 5. That got hit. 5.5 got hit as well. No surprise. A lot of recency bias around the Colts. The Rams, Baltimore is a team they're fading. Looking to fade Baltimore. The look ahead was 6.5. That got bet. The 7 opener got bet as well. Miami, another team. Chargers starting to get faded. They took Miami at +5.5 at the look ahead. They took 5 at the opener as well. Tampa Bay over San Francisco, fading the injured San Francisco team. They laid the 1.5 look ahead. They laid the 2 opener. They laid the 2.5 as well. Green Bay against Cincinnati. They laid the points again, fading Cincinnati, which got blown out once again. They laid 13.5 was the look ahead. The opener was 14. They laid that as well. And next Monday night, Atlanta over Buffalo, which did not look good last night on Sunday Night Football. No surprise. Little recency bias there. They took the 5 look ahead on Atlanta. They took the 4.5 opener and the 4 that was sitting up there. So that's some of the early NFL look-ahead steam that got follow through on Monday.
You talk about recency bias. Do you think the books react enough, not enough? How do the syndicates handle this? Because recency bias, obviously, you can get some bloated numbers, but then, there's some of these teams. I think this Baltimore team is a train wreck. I think they're saving everyone till after the bye week. They're going to go in the bye 1-5, and then their schedule gets super, super easy. I picked them in Survivor, and I'm looking at this going, what have you seen from this Baltimore team? This is not the Baltimore Ravens. They have all their backups on defense, and they have a backup quarterback. It's just not the Ravens. I'm pretty surprised. I would be surprised if this doesn't make it to double digits here. So what's your take on recency bias, or is it just game by game?
No, I think what happens is the book is forced to shade towards that recency bias. They have to, because bettors remember what they saw last, and they're going to react to it. So the books are forced to shade towards that bias. But it's then we, the market, I think, that overreacts. That's what I think ends up happening. Kind of like the same thing with injuries, where the book knows this quarterback's worth 4.5 points to the betting line. We're going to adjust it 4.5 points. But then we, the market, says, oh, no, he's worth more than that. And next thing you know, it's a 6.5, 7 point adjustment. That wasn't the books adjusting it. That was we, the market, disagreeing with the books adjustment. And I think that's what you see. And a perfect case was Baltimore. Here's the difficulty of the books. Let's remember, week 1, they lost to Buffalo in a game that was improbable to lose, meaning they had like a 99.9% probability of winning very late in that game. They lost. After that loss, they were still considered the best team on paper. The week after that, they beat Cleveland by 24 points as 13-point favorites. So as of going into September 22nd, just 2-3 weeks ago, they were considered the best team in the NFL. In fact, they were 4.5-point favorites over the best team in the NFL right now, the Detroit Lions. They lost that game by 8 points. Still, everyone thought this is a team on paper. They're 1-2, but they're arguably the best team in the NFL. Then they lose to KC and they get blown away by Houston, and all of that is forgotten that quickly. That's what the difficulty of the books is. That 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago on paper, wise guys are arguing this 1-2 Baltimore team should still be favored over more or less everyone on neutral field. But the market says, no, they suck. They're starting to fade Baltimore. That's the difficulty the books have with teams like that. So I give them kind of a break, and they sometimes they're playing catch up. More times than not, they're ahead. But sometimes they are caught playing catch up. And a team like Baltimore, I think that's what's happening right now, where bettors are just lining up to fade them, and they can't lower them quick enough on their power ratings.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at, Green Bay's minus 14.5 against the Bengals. What's the difference between the Bengals and the Ravens at this point? They're both on backup quarterbacks. They both can't stop anybody. So I'm really surprised on that Rams. Like, on the road, who cares? Going on the road, like, that crowd's going to be excited to go watch Cooper Rush and that defense play. Nice job. You and I both hit our 5% best bets in UFC. We all know 5% just mean a little bit more in this industry. It just actually a lot more. So awesome stuff with that. Happy Monday to you. What do you have up for everyone?
Thank you, brother. As of right now, the package that's going up within the next 60 minutes is the Monday Night Football game. Just was waiting for a little confirmation because I really have a strong lean. That I think is coming through. That should be up. And, of course, I'll have my Saturday college football up, my Sunday NFL up. Already have some plays for subscribers ready to go. Tomorrow's Contender Series. We have a big UFC card on Saturday. I think I got a 5% ready to pop there as well. So it's a busy week. We got a lot ahead, a good couple months to close out the year. Head on over to WagerTalk.com. Jump on board. Another winning football season ahead. We've won every single week in college football so far. Let's just keep it going. Keep grinding.
All right, Gianni The Greek. Let's get this week off to the right foot. Let's cash on Monday Night Football. So, Benjamin, how about them Colts? Listen, there's two things you want in a hometown team that you're rooting for. The first is, can they just be likable? We'll get to winning, but can they be likable and fun to watch? And then it's winning, and this Colts team has both of them. It is freaking awesome to watch this Colts team. Yeah, they beat up on a bad team, but yes, the Colts are such a pleasant surprise. And yes, it is an indictment on the New York Giants that they were sitting on Daniel Jones, who looks this incredibly good. So it's awesome, man. It's a lot of fun here in Indianapolis. So, all right, Dan, let's do overreactions, where the books won, where the public won, and some props fantasy winners and losers. All right, overreactions to week 5. Jackson Dart is not ready to start. They started him too early. The Jets are the worst team in the NFL. I don't know if that's an overreaction. Because they're actually putting out their starters. Like the other teams that are hurt, I don't know. Steelers are going to win the AFC North, and they didn't even play this week. I saw Josh Allen is not the MVP tweet last night. And then, Dan, we jumped the gun on Mark Sanchez. The overreaction was Mark Sanchez was a victim of violence in a city full of chaos and anarchy.
It's almost like you don't need to live tweet every single thing that happens in the world. Like we can shut up for 5 seconds and get some facts before we start live tweeting. It's almost like we can do that.
I'm being dead serious when I tell you the story first came out and the reaction to everyone in the city was downtown is becoming too dangerous. You can't go down there. That was literally a storyline in Indianapolis. And then it was like, oh, maybe it's just dangerous when Mark Sanchez is blacked out walking around attacking Uber Eats drivers.
I don't know if you saw, Andy, that they released like the video of what went down. Unhinged. Sanchez is going to jail. Like he
is in jail. They released him from the hospital and took him to jail. Anyway, shout out to downtown Indianapolis. Not nearly as dangerous as we said. All right, let's go to where the books won and where the public won. Boy, the books won a lot on some teasers and money lines, thanks to the Cardinals blowing it and the Bills blowing it. Vikings-Browns under was a huge play. That did not get there, so the books did very, very well there. And where the public won, big. Colts minus points and Lions minus points. Those were huge gets for the public. Let's go to props and fantasy football winners and losers. Dan, your boy Devonta Smith is having a really good year. Justin Jefferson is starting to click. He's starting to pay dividends in the props market. Rashid Shaheed, Dan, excellent call on Rashid Shaheed. Justin Fields, garbage time still counts. This guy is like a fantasy football monster. even though sometimes it's in time that doesn't even matter. This Ryan Flournoy for the Cowboys, where did he come from? Never even heard of him, but congratulations to him. Rico Dowdle comes in for Chuba Hubbard, 200-yard day. Jalen Waddle subbing for Tyreek Hill. That was one that a lot of us in the props market were like, why didn't we play Jalen Waddle with Tyreek Hill out? CJ Stroud is starting to put up some big numbers. And Baker and Ibuka, what a duo this team is. I continue to say at the end of the year, you're going to have the Chiefs and the Bucs with the best wide receiving core if everyone's healthy and back. Jamar Chase, garbage time, again, still counts. Krosky Merritt, he has wrapped up that job in Washington. He looks great. And Stephon Diggs looks rejuvenated. Huge revenge game last night. And fantasy football and props losers. Dan, your boy Saquon Barkley, not getting it done right now. But again, the Eagles have much bigger fish to fry. I would expect his usage rate to go up a little bit, but he's not putting up the stats. Derrick Henry, holy cow. Derrick Henry, fantasy owners, prop bettors, yikes, this is getting bad. The Raiders are a props and fantasy wasteland. Tough one if you had Amari DiMercato anytime touchdown. That's a brutal beat. The Chargers, there's just too many injuries on the offensive line. And Woody Marks. Looked like he had the starting job in Houston, and then they're like, nope, we're going to run Nick Chubb. So those are your fantasy football and props winners and losers. All right, we're going to bring in Crackman and get his thoughts on the weekend, and then we're going to talk a prop. Bill, happy Monday. How are you, sir?
Betting a prop as we speak. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Would you like to share with the rest of the class?
Yeah, let me just get into one more spot. Well, we're on a live show, but I don't care. I'll tell them now. I just bet at MGM. Overworthy receiving yards. 55.5 MGM, 54.5. Have a couple. I don't think his injury is that serious though. And to be honest with you, that's why you're getting a discount because of it. I also released that last week, and it was a pretty easy winner, but it was a lot more yards. So, yeah, there's a live prop here, guys. Sorry.
I liked his receptions. I like his yards because they seem to be trying to make a big deal out of this injury, and it doesn't really seem like that big of a deal. So what they said, swelling in his ankle on the flight, like well, it's not like he got hit by a car or anything. So. What was your thoughts on the weekend? We did some overreactions. What was your take on NFL?
You ever meet anybody that had a nice weekend again? I've won like every week in college. I've had a good weekend in even NFL and props and stuff. Probably I'm up a lot of money so far in this last month. And you ever meet anybody that is still sour? I am so sour. I am so upset about Arizona losing, knocking me out of the contest, many contests. I had, it cost me a lot of money, including Grandissimo, which I had a third of an entry. So it was a very expensive day as far as that goes. But even with the contest losing a lot of money, I'm still having a good financial month. But it's just the way Arizona lost. And I know it's in the moment. I usually don't live in the moment. In the moment, losing the way Arizona lost and knocked me out of these things. You're going in for the score, 28-6 it would have been, and the guy just dropping the ball. These guys get millions of dollars, and they want to, like, nonchalant, don't even think, like, pull up before you go in the end zone. Don't hold the ball. Like, it was a very upsetting day for me, the end of the day there. Usually I don't dawn on things, too. I wake up, it is what it is. You go on. And I am treating it that way. As you can see, I'm betting props here, doing some other things. But, pretty upset at that Arizona game. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure most of you guys probably know about it and what happened in the game. Tennessee's a terrible team. But then again, got to be blunt. Not real fond on Arizona. I wasn't really, didn't have a lot of faith putting my money on. It was either Arizona or the Colts. I felt the Colts have a better quarterback. I just did. But schedule-wise and to use Arizona, that was the best opportunity to use them. Both Colts and them were both 7.5 point favorites. Already used the Bills. Not that it mattered. Bills lost. The only other real survivor there is Detroit. and Detroit is on the road. I don't like using road teams in these type of contests. I had a buddy of mine text me I really respect this morning how Arizona was the optimal pick. And he actually said, that he just can't believe how so many of these people picked 3-point favorites and how they got through. It's the equivalent of risking whatever your equity is minus 300 because your implied value is only going to go up 25-30% if you win on average. It's just along more of an analytical background. And I'm just trying to put some of his words in layman's terms. He's very, very smart guy. He's a contest player only. Doesn't really gamble that much, actually. But yeah, so it was really, really upset. So I'm sorry, I was really upset. Just that I have partners too. Let me be blunt, Andy. They're putting up $33,000. So I have two other partners putting up $33,000 each. They have faith in me having the right decision, but I do check with them. Even though I get the final call, I do check with them before, and both of them agreed with the pick. But there was a fraction of time we thought about the Colts. So we looked at the schedule, and we thought that this was the only time Arizona was going to have, they're playing the worst team in football. Argument, they are. I mean, Carolina's probably not the worst anymore, even before yesterday's game. I think Tennessee's like the worst team in football. So I think this is a good pick. I'd do it again. And again, this is a freak thing, man. So many things had to go right for Tennessee. But, it's funny, Andy. It didn't stop me from going to one of the best restaurants last night to eat Carbone. I went to Carbone last night after I lost that. Because what are you going to do? Right? What are you going to do? Is sit around and sulk about it all day? But I woke up today thinking about it a little bit. And I kind of feel bad for other people. Listen, I lose my own money. I feel bad when other people lose money because of me. But then again, I'm feeling bad for a guy that's got his own private jet, restaurants, strip clubs. The guy's a multi-zillionaire. What am I even thinking about? I mean, but I just, they put their faith in me, and again, we all agree. So it was a fun thing. Grandissimo, I'll get in again next year, God willing. And even the Survivor though knocked me out of many entries on Survivor. I'm down to one entry in Survivor. So this was a real big, a lot of carnage yesterday. I'm sorry, it wasn't only Sunday Bloody Sunday. It was Thursday Bloody Thursday. The Rams losing, which I thought I was a genius now. I had no Rams pick. I said, this is great. Rams is out, lost a lot of the pool. And what happens? You lose, you lose a big one with Arizona. So it happens. I'm over it. Had a good day financially, though, betting. Good weekend. Again, having a great season, what's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like I've been telling people from the beginning over here on WagerTalk, we're going to win. As long as you don't get thrown out or limited, you're going to win. So, which is unfortunately when I get thrown out and limited. But there are a couple books in town that do take my bets. Thank God that the Westgate's taking a prop from me. Circus taking a prop from me. The Win takes some straight good totals, and so does the other sports books. I have like 3 or 4 here in town that take some good prop bets off me. So I'm happy about that.
Well, let's talk about some props tonight. You gave us a quick little one on Xavier Worthy. Yeah. What's another prop you're looking for?
No, right now it was just Worthy, to be honest with you. Worthy was a prop. Oh, okay. It just so happens that I just started betting it when we came on air. So there's a free one for everyone. Worthy over. And Andy, I don't like bet. I tell you, I'm still that old school mind. I sometimes hate betting these overs. I'm an under guy because I always think that the value is going against the public, going against a marquee team. But these books have adjusted to the point where I am playing more and more overs on player props. There's a built-in value betting under. Quarterback gets hurt, or something comes out for a couple plays, or and also there was the tax that you pay in the way of extra yardage. But however, now I'm noticing spots where I'm betting a lot of overs and they're cashing. So it's a total different game. If you don't evolve every year, you will not win. It's that simple. Even like Super Bowl props, my first 10, you're only allowed to bet 2 at the counter at the Westgate. I remember going up in the lottery. You're allowed to bet 2. I bet 11. I had circled. I only got to bet 10 of them. I had like 5 or 6 overs. Now, I mean, it ran good there too. I was 9-1 on that first list. So, but even going back from the counter, dump from the deck, can't believe I'm betting like 6 overs out of 11. It's just impossible. It's just never. I've made a lot of money betting unders in my career, a lot of money, and it's the reason why I get thrown out of so many sports books betting props. So we can bet overs now. Hopefully, Worthy continues that streak of overs. And I know everyone wants to bet sides out there. I get it. Sides is fun. It's the biggest thing you talk about. Everyone loves betting sides. You know, you want to bet your favorite team tonight. I released the other day on WagerTalk -3, -20, I believe, on KC. A lot of 3.5s now. No, unless you buy it, unless you can find a spot. And it's very price sensitive. At -3, -30, it's a no play. That's how tight these margins are. That's how tight they are. Now, a lot of other people in general that I notice, I know a couple of people that sell picks, and they say, oh, -3, -22, or -25 at Rivers or at DraftKings, where I'm not allowed to bet. You can bet $250. There's an old lady in Arthur Avenue in the Bronx that runs the hot dog cart. She takes more than that. So, I mean, I don't understand how these companies are in business. ESPN Bet, all these big companies, they don't take bets off winners. Losersonly.com, they should be named. It's really bad. And you know what? I do that at the risk of them sponsoring one of my shows down the line. Thank God I'm good in life. I don't have to worry about that. Seriously. All double birds to all these places that, advertise and spend millions and millions on advertising. Yet when it comes to taking bets off someone that has a pulse, you throw them out or limit them to a grocery dollar. All right, I'm ranting this morning. Imagine having a great month and I'm still ranting. That makes me, though. I like to stick up.
You're great. I actually just looked it up. Losers.com. It's available.
Is it?
Wow. It's owned by a group, but it's nothing. It just so
all right.
you and I let's talk after the show. Let's partner up. Let's buy losers.com. Make a sports book out of it. We'll be billionaires. That's awesome. Bill, Monday, what do you have up for clients over at WagerTalk?
Listen, I'll say it again. I don't even have to go to the site, but I know it. There's nowhere ever I've sold the packages that it's this cheap. WagerTalk has. I know they told me, Bill, don't worry, we're going to get a lot of volume, and they have a lot. I mean, these packages they have up though. There's nowhere where you can get a weekly package or a season-long package cheaper than WagerTalk for my stuff. I mean, like I said, and even the Major League playoffs, we've I shouldn't do this yet. It's a bad old fat. You know, it's funny. I was talking to one of my buddies last night, Teddy Atlas, boxing guy. He's like, you never tell anyone it's over till it's absolutely over. And here I am opening my mouth already. So I give up. Of course, Toronto has a nice dog for the series. They're up 2-0. Hopefully they continue that. Yesterday, Seattle, a nice dog again in baseball. I know we're football season, but sometimes you get these values against these marquee players. You know, I host a nationwide show on the weekends on Fox, and where I got this from was almost common sense yesterday. Everyone talking about Scooble. Oh my God, this guy's great. He's pitching tonight. They're up 1-0. They look great. So this is a good spot for a letdown in the dog here. But anyway, going back to that, what I was saying, we got some baseball stuff up too. Got football stuff up, of course. Like I said, the season is the best value. There's nowhere else in the world you're going to get that value. We have some really good packages. You can inquire within too to even get my package throughout Super Bowl, which let me just tell you, Super Bowl props, playoff props, they are just money in the bank. So we got a lot of good stuff, Andy, here. Go over to WagerTalk and find me over there and sign up.
Crackman joining us every Monday. Thank you so much. Don't forget to go check out losers.com. It's Bill and I's next business venture. So, all right, guys, we have one best bet that is up for Monday Night Football. Coming off a really nice run in NFL props. We're seeing the props really well. We're 5-2 so far this week, and we're 6-1 in prime time games this season. So we're seeing prime time really, really well. Telling everybody my goal is 58-59% by the end of the season. We're almost there. So if you want to jump on board, we're having a really, really good week in NFL props. Also 5% UFC. Best bet is up. Easy cash on our 5% on Saturday. We're coming right back with another one. The next two cards, absolutely love. We will have 5% best bets in both of them. So you want to get the best number, Encourage you to go grab that ASAP, lock in the bet. That way you got the best number. So NFL prop of the night. We hit our last one on Monday Night Football. So take advantage, WT.buzz/AL. Come cash with us. Let's do all around the world here. Give out some free plays. And believe it or not, we got a darts play for tonight. That's right, free darts play coming. Let's do a prop in the Chiefs Jags. Kareem Hunt over 27.5 yards rushing. These Chiefs running backs have been bad, but I think this is too much of an overreaction. This is Kareem Hunt. He's had 30-plus yards the last 3 weeks, and he leads the Chiefs in rush attempts this year. I don't think Pacheco's 100% recovered from the injury from last year. For whatever reason, they trust Kareem Hunt. They like him. He's in there. So I guess if Andy Reid and Mahomes trust him, I guess we should too. Dodgers, Phillies, Jesus Luzardo over 14.5 outs. Gone over in 27 out of 32 games this season. 21 outs last couple games in the head-to-head matchup. And the World Grand Prix of Darts that starts here in about 30 minutes. We're going to take two players here, James Wade, and we're going to parlay him with Gary Anderson. I don't want to bore you with dart stats. We're just getting the two best players in a format they're really good at. So we're going to parlay James Wade and Gary Anderson and get these prices down to -112. It's a World Grand Prix of Darts, and we may or may not have client bets for darts up tomorrow. We'll see. All right, let's bring in Steve Merril. Steve's going to break down the Monday Night Football game.
Oh, I thought we were doing dart stats. I'd nodded off.
Believe it or not, there are dart stats out there. And even though I find them fascinating, I know nobody wants to hear me yammering
I actually was
on
kind of
about
curious.
180s.
I'm not your average Joe. I would have loved to hear it, as you probably know, a Hindi. So I was actually kind of interested.
Well, it's an interesting format, Steve. Double in, double out. All right, here we go. So real quick, Steve, I always ask you the Week 5 overreactions. Which one do you like the best? Jackson Dart not ready to start in the NFL. The Jets are the worst team in the NFL. The Steelers are going to win the AFC North, even though they didn't play this week. Josh Allen is now not the MVP. And then we did a jumping to conclusion that Indianapolis is a very dangerous city, full of chaos and anarchy because of Mark Sanchez. And then it turns out Mark Sanchez is the chaos and anarchy. Which one's your favorite?
Yeah, I saw that headline. I know nothing else, but it said former Fox News analyst and NFL player Mark says stabbed and arrested. That's what the headline said. I'm like, what? Stabbed and arrested. So I actually don't know what happened. I, once again, didn't apply to my handicap into the game, so I didn't care, right? I just move on. But I did see that headline. I think the biggest overreaction has to be that SVG is the greatest NASCAR racer in history, Randy. I actually caught the end of that race yesterday for the first time all year. What is it, 5 road course wins? You told me about this guy. I don't even know who he is still.
He's won all of them. Every road course he's won in the NASCAR.
You win a race, you get into playoffs. I mean, are they thinking about next year just letting him run all the ovals just so he has enough races or whatever the minimum?
That's what they're doing this year. He just keeps advancing as long as there's a road course in the playoffs. He's.
Well, I don't think he advanced, did he? I heard the top 8. I didn't think. Yeah, but I don't think he's in the top 8.
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, he's not advancing to the next
for the championship. He's not eligible.
Yeah, he advances to the playoffs every year. Every year they have a road course race. Just
you and I need to put a WagerTalk team together. This is our chance. If we get a guy like him, we just run 40th in every oval race, and we have a ringer for one track, just one track.
Exactly.
WagerTalk.com on the side of the car. Picks and parlays, $7 Fridays. By the way, it'd be a great practice promo. It'd be fantastic. I didn't see him on the screen. I thought Dan was going to throw him up there, so I didn't listen to a word you said. I heard something about Jackson Dart, and I heard Indianapolis.
Jackson Dart not ready to start. Are the Jets the worst team in the NFL? Yeah. The Steelers are going to win the AFC North, despite that they didn't even play. So, you got some good ones. I kind of like the Josh Allen is not the MVP because of one loss. I kind of like that one.
Well, and I always like to look, too, like how did I feel the games are going to play out? I had a best bet of the Patriots on Sunday night. And whenever I like a dog, I think they can win outright, just like the Titans. You know, I mean, I've always said if you're going to play NFL dogs, you put some of it on the money line because majority of the time they do win straight up. So I'm not going to overreact to the Sunday night result. Josh Allen probably does not win the MVP because he won it last year. And we normally don't see guys win it back-to-back seasons. I thought that the Cowboys were a very public play this week. The Jets have looked awful. They're coming off the Monday night game. But I thought they were in a decent spot maybe to catch Dallas, who's been unable to stop anybody defensively except for the electricity or the lightning outage. Dart is ready to start. That rhyme, so I kind of like that. They're all overreactions. That's why we have fun with this on Monday. But the Jets are looking pretty bad. I don't think the Steelers win that division, although The Ravens have tapped out. The Bengals, they probably won it by default, right? Mike Tomlin, class of
They
Mary,
might.
2 years older than me, man. He always seems to get it done. We always talk about how he always has a winning record no matter how bad. I think they've been negative points in yardage like 3 years in a row now. They've still had a winning record. So I guess they're due to have a breakout season there. There probably is the Steelers to win or lose. I don't think they're that good, though.
Just some interesting NFL MVP Josh Allen is plus 150. Sean says take a look at Jared Goff. He's 15-1. I like Baker at 12-1. And listen, 45-1, Daniel Jones. Not too many quarterbacks playing better than him. So I don't know. We'll see. Interesting futures look. All right, Steve, let's talk this Monday night game. How do you break down the Chiefs and the Jaguars?
Well, I broke it down about 3 days ago, side and total for free in a video. So what I'm going to do, Andy, I'm going to look at some props, which I did not mention in the video. Once again, if you want my side and total breakdown for this Chiefs-Jags game, it is free right here on WagerTalk TV, the Monday night breakdown. By the way, the Patriots were a client bet last night on Sunday. I gave that to you free in the video as well. So I gave you a lot of the plays I ended up using for my clients. Check out the Monday night 2-for-1 with the side and total free play video. But let's look at some props here for this segment. And one thing I like to do is always take a contrarian stance in the NFL, but I also don't like try to catch falling knives in any sport. And that's why with the Fade the Public video, I always say a lot of times we just pass. We don't fade by playing really ugly teams. We talked about the Cowboys were very public Sunday. The Jets have struggled. The Titans have struggled at times, although they did step up against the Cardinals. Had a best bet on that, by the way, yesterday on Sunday. That was more of a fade of Arizona. But in this game tonight, I think we could start to trust the Chiefs offense a bit. You know, they looked awful in the Super Bowl last year, and I wasn't big on them coming into this season, but they did make some improvements in offensive line. They've gotten a little healthier. But the big change now that we're about a month into the season is they're getting some of their explosive playmakers back, especially at the wide receiver position. I don't read too much into the Brazil game. That was week 1A of the NFL season. It was a foreign game right after the preseason. Chargers are looking decent. And by the way, that was a phony win by not my Washington Commanders yesterday on Sunday. Chargers still one of the better teams in the AFC. Eagles, one of the better teams in the NFC. But now that the Chiefs have started to step down in class a bit, the 22 points against the Giants could have been a lot more. I thought they moved the ball okay offensively. And now I look for maybe a breakout game with some big plays here. And I think the way you can attack some big play opportunities is longest completion, longest reception props over. Something I don't talk a lot about. But Patrick Mahomes' longest completion over 35.5 tonight. I like that one. And then if you want to tie that in with some reception props as well, maybe either Worthy or Thornton's longest reception over also, if you have access to those. I'm going to pull those up right now, actually. Longest reception for Worthy is about 22.5. He's had a long of 37, I believe, this year. And also, we're looking at some other guys here. Tyquan Thornton, 13.5. He's had one, I believe, of 49. I like Worthy over 22.5 for his longest. Thornton over 13.5 or Mahomes over 35.5. I think there'll be some big plays tonight against the Jacksonville defense that's going to go one-on-one and get burnt. This Kansas City offense is starting to break out now that they're getting healthy at the receiver position.
Awesome stuff, Steve. You don't have to threaten me with a good time with props. Now you're talking.
Love the
my
over
language
props,
here.
right, Andy? Because like you can win it by like the second play of the game, whereas if you take the shortest or whatever, you're sweated out to the final play of the game.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Crackman was talking about this, how he used to bet unders and now he's betting more overs. I'm the same way.
Same here.
One of the best props in all of sports was taking the under on the points, rebounds, and assists on the superstars in the playoffs, because the books would just put this astronomical number out, and everything had to go right for them to go over. So you just played the under, and now they're constantly going over, and it's the same in NFL. They put these lower like totals up, and one play blows it out of the water. And I end up gravitating more towards the overs these days.
Right, and I agree with you, Andy. And it's like everyone's going to say, well, the value's with the under, and you see that with over/under total points for decades as well. The sharps always play unders, the public plays overs. The sharps play underdogs, the public plays favorites. And I talk about this a lot in my Fade the Public video that I use this as a filter, right? We don't just blindly fade the public. I'm not looking to play crap teams, as I said earlier. And it's the same thing with these props. I'm looking to play over props. If the line isn't there, the value isn't there, we just pass. But I'm the same way. I find myself playing more overs with totals in general. And it's because it's a cleaner handicap. If I'm looking for a game, I think where both offenses have the abilities to score, both teams have explosive abilities. This case, I think Kansas City has some big play abilities against Jacksonville tonight. So that's going to correlate to a long pass reception at some point. Mahomes is going to have to throw it. So we get his over 35.5. But then I sprinkle in a couple of the receivers at lower numbers as well. And it also, I don't care about watching these games, but once again, it takes a little bit of the bad beat factor out, because you've seen some, Andy, where you can go a full game and then all of a sudden that last meaningless play is a big play throw or something. So there's a lot of reasons I gravitate towards overs as well. Now that the betting market has become more sophisticated, I'm not sure there's just intrinsic value anymore at the under like there used to be 20 years ago.
Yeah, agreed. We'll keep talking about props, but we got a couple really big baseball games here, Steve. So I want to get your breakdown on both of them. So it looks like we got Snell for the Dodgers, Luzardo for Phillies, Imanaga. This guy's last name trips me up every single time. It's not even that difficult, and for whatever reason, I can't do it. So I'm going to let you talk about the Brewers and the Cubs. You're breaking down both games. I'm not going to interrupt you. Just so just go back to back here. Dodgers, Phillies, Cubs, and Brewers.
So we have two baseball games here tonight on Monday. First one's an early start at 6 Eastern, Phillies, Dodgers, and then a late start at 9 o'clock Eastern, Cubs, Brewers. They're both on TBS and True TV, one of my favorite networks, and Practical Jokers. I need to get on that show. Let's make it happen. Comment below if you want to see me on Impractical Jokers, if you like True TV. Early game, though, at 6 Eastern is Dan Alexander's Phillies at home against the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers were anointed the World Series champs before the season began back in April, like at 2-1 odds. Underperformed most of the season, but to say they've turned it on recently would be an understatement. 8 straight wins. 5 straight to finish the regular season, including beating Seattle 3 straight, who's one of the best teams in baseball on the road. And then maybe the biggest mismatch we've seen in recent years in the MLB playoffs was against the Reds in round 1. I took advantage. 2-0 sweep using the Dodger run line. And we talk about this. If you play the Dodgers, you play the -1.5. They usually win by margin or they lose outright. Well, we played Dodger run line in both games 1 and 2, and we're off to a 100% start in the MLB playoffs because of that. Rare opportunity here where you get the Dodgers at a pretty reasonable price, about $1.25 road favorite tonight. I'm going to look at the total, though, instead, under 8. It opened 7.5. It's now up to 8 in some spots, still 7.5 over, so you can get under 7.5 even, under 8 -15, -20. By the way, that half run is worth about 20 cents on average, as 8 is what we call a less likely. I don't want to say it's a dead number. It's less likely than 7 or 9. The way baseball is played, if it's 3-3, it has to land 7 or more. 4-4, it has to land 9 or more because of extra innings. So under 7, even money, or under 8, -15, -20 is fine with me either way. Battle of lefties here. My concern is that the Dodgers have been explosive offensively. I talked about the 18 runs they put up against the Reds. Well, they put up 5 runs against Philly in game 1. That landed on exactly 8 runs. Both pitchers, though, have been solid. Blake Snell, a 2.4 ERA on the season. Luzardo, not quite as much, 3.9. But if you look at his last 7 starts going back to mid-August, 3.0 ERA. So he is dialed in, even though he's pitched a lot more innings than he did last year. Last year, only 66 innings, 178 the year before that, 183 this year. Meanwhile, Snell has been limited, so he only has 61 innings after going 104 and 180. If you want to take a little bit of that Dodger uncertainty, their hot offense, and a little bit of the Luzardo uncertainty out of the equation, maybe a better way to attack this one is just a team total. Instead of under 8 for the game, we play the Phillies under 3.5. So I do like Philly team total under 3.5 if you're a little hesitant, as I am, to fade that red-hot Dodger offense at 6:05 Eastern tonight on Monday. Other game at 9 o'clock Eastern, also lefty-lefty. All 4 pitchers, starting pitchers tonight, are southpaws. I can't remember the last time I've seen that happen, so it'll be interesting. And this is an interesting game as well because we've seen the money come in on Milwaukee early on, opened about $1.25 favorite. They're up to $1.30, $1.35 now, and it's hard to disagree. Brewers were the best team in baseball this season. It wasn't the Dodgers. It was the Brewers, and they're in pretty good current form as well. You always worry about the long layoff, and the Padres had that momentum edge. The Cubs, rather, had the momentum edge coming in after the Padre 3-game series. And we have seen in recent years these wildcard teams do quite well with this expanded baseball playoff format, but it didn't matter. Brewers 9-3 win on Saturday. It was easy, and I think that was the difficult spot for them. A little bit of a pitching edge here maybe on the season for the Cubbies, but then again, Aaron Ashby's been solid. Only 66 innings of work, but a 2.2 ERA. And I think he's a solid guy. Not a lot of playoff experience, which is a concern, but he's rested. And the fact that Milwaukee won easily 9-3 on Saturday in what was maybe a flat spot after being off for a full week, I think they carry that momentum here. Not in a hurry to fade the best team in baseball. And the betting markets agree. Brewers have gone from $1.25 up to $1.35. I think there's still value. They win this game. They take the 2-0 lead tonight. So take a look at the Brewers as well in the late game at 9:05 Eastern. And don't forget, if you're liking these free play videos, I do free play videos throughout the week for baseball, college and pro football. Basketball starts in a few weeks here on the channel as well. All you have to do is subscribe and click the bell for an instant alert on WagerTalk TV, and you will never miss out when a free play video is posted, including my Monday Night Football free play video, both side and total for the Chiefs-Jags game for free right here, right now on WagerTalk TV. And if you're liking free plays, check out a bonus NFL free play for next week, which is on my page right now, nice and early. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Go get the daily free play right now and get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM.
All right, Steve. All right, we have something funny developing in the chat.
Uh-oh.
So this is Imanaga. So
I didn't try to say it. I couldn't remember either.
They're trying to help me do this. So I brought up. I have a buddy. He can't say Hideki Matsuyama. It always comes out Hideki. He says Hideki Matsui.
Gesundheit.
Ethan has a friend. Is there a name or a word that you struggle with?
There's about half the players in the league now. I watch less games than I ever watched. I can't stand watching these games. I feel like I jinx teams when I watch the games, even though I'm not superstitious. So, yeah, I butcher these names all the time. And what I love, Andy, is the 10, 15,000 viewers we get on all the videos. 99% of the comments are positive, like, thanks, Steve. Let's all go get him. Let's win together. And, Steve, you mispronounced the backup second-string catcher who's in the game tonight for the Padres. It's like, yeah, thanks, buddy. Find something else to troll. So, yeah, I don't even try anymore. And you will notice that I said the Cubs starter. That's a great way to go.
It's really good. Try and pronounce in UFC when they got a Russian fighting an Asian.
Oh yeah, well, I mean,
it's just impossible. Like this guy versus this guy. All right.
Yeah, that's another trick is Andy. Like, well, you do UFC. I don't follow it, so I don't know any of the names. But when I used to I guest host for you on Thursday or Friday, and we have it, I'll be like, "What are your thoughts on this MMA UFC main event?" And then I'll just let them run with the. Teddy used to love that as well. Teddy was like me; he had no clue.
That's great. What do you think about the third fight of the night? All right, Steve, what do you have up for clients over at Wager Talk?
Yeah, I mean, don't forget tomorrow's $5 Tuesday. Andy, I got to show you the $5 Tuesday is always here. I'm still waiting for my $9 bill. As queer as a $9 bill. You can't say that anymore, right? But $9 baseball plays, MLB, every day, every play is $9. So, I mean, $5 Tuesday is fantastic, but get every baseball play right now through the World Series for just $9. It's a great offer. And I talked about the free plays as well. Hockey starts tomorrow on Tuesday. We're really going to try to make Wager Talk the hockey source this year for free plays, free information. Baseball free plays up. I've got that advanced NFL play as well right now for next Sunday. And, some best bet specials as well. So check out my page, Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM.
Great work, Steve. Great breakdowns. Don't forget to check out all of his free play videos. He does the Fade the Public NFL video, which the Fade the Public plays are going well, aren't they? I watched the last video. Those are kind of hitting.
Yeah, it's interesting, Andy. Last year the public got off to a really strong start. I think the first 3 or 4 weeks of September. And then you remember I was like that first or second week in October, the sports books had like one of their worst weeks ever with all favorites. It's been slow and steady this year. It's just been like, the public's been like 1-2, 1-3, 1-2. So, they're only hitting about 35% right now on those best bets that I put in the video. And, once again, just for the new viewers, as you know, is like, we're not saying to play them or fade them. I'm just giving you the information. But it's been working well this year. And I have a feeling that's not a coincidence because the public did really well out of the gate last year. And only 3 games qualified this past week, Andy, whereas when they get hot, there'll be 5 or 6 really public games. So we'll see how that goes here in the month of October.
All right. Steve Merril, everyone, thank you. Great job. All right. Another sports coming up here, guys. NHL starts. We got to bring in Carmine Bianco. I can't believe it's here, Carmine. We get to bet on NHL. We get to bet on NHL props. My gosh, it's here. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. It's a great time to be in Toronto right now, believe it or not, even though I'm not a Leafs fan. I was downtown Toronto yesterday, the Blue Jays and Yankees, and then watching football. Pretty much all of the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games while my wife was getting a 6-hour tattoo done, Andy. So, yeah. I tried to bribe the girl into putting WT.buzz/CB on there, but it didn't work. But I'm looking forward to it. Listen, NHL is here. NFL is here. It's been a great run in NFL as well, too. 7 straight winners for me. I think I
Oh,
must have been
nice.
the square yesterday because 3-0 sweep yesterday. I had Tennessee. So I'm pretty happy about that as well too. But NHL, yeah, NHL is kicking off on Tuesday. Only 3 games, but it's going to be action packed because of the Olympics. They're going to start squeezing in a lot of games before that break comes up. So it'll be interesting to see nonetheless, but it is a great season. I got a couple client plays that
Let's
are
do it.
season-long prop plays for you.
I can't wait. We're going to support a team and we're going to fade a team. We always love fading. I always say it's so much easier for bad teams to be bad than it is for good teams to be great every single night. So let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. Why are you fading them?
Yeah, so I initially put this one out because I thought the number was at least a couple points too high. The Pittsburgh Penguins under 78.5 points. It's now down to 76.5 at DraftKings, and this is a team, and it's just a team that I think is going to be near the bottom of the Eastern Conference standings and near the bottom of the standings overall. I think they're projected probably now. I saw just this past weekend, they're projected to be in the top or the bottom 4 overall in points. This is a team that 3 years ago, 91 points, 2 years ago, 88 points, last year, 80 points, and they only got to those 80 points by winning 3 of the last 4 games. Obviously, Mike Sullivan gone, new coach, first-year coach as well too, and Dan Muse. But this is a team it's going to be a retooling season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's going to be a long year for them. Aging stars. Listen, I love Sidney Crosby, but he's 38 and could be a player that they move at the trade deadline as a rental player, and then he returns to Pittsburgh for another season. If they're able to win that first-round pick and get McKenna, he's the perfect mentor for a young superstar in their first year. You got Letang, 38 years old, Malkin, 39, Carlson, 35, Rust, 33. So there's a lot of players. I hate to say it, but they're on their last legs with this Pittsburgh team, and it's just a long season for them. So I released that's under 78.5, but it's at 76.5, and I still like it, Andy, at 76.5.
All right, let's go to a team we're going to support. This is an interesting one, but we're going to your hometown team here with Toronto. A little bit of changes with the roster, but you still think they're going to be strong this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is outside of Toronto, people. The first thing that comes to people's minds is Mitch Marner's no longer in Toronto. How do you replace 102 points from him? It is by committee. They have enough talent on that team, and this is a team that 3 years ago 111 points, 2 years ago 102 points, last year 108 points. I think the second year under Craig Berube, he is putting in a plan on this team and how he wants them to play a better defensive game as well too. So it is not about just scoring a ton of goals. It is about minding the team defensively. You have Stolarz, who was injured in the playoffs. They were the only team to take Florida basically to 7 games with a chance to knock them out. But goaltending issues became a problem in the playoffs for them, with Stolarz getting injured and having Wall and Hildeby. But this is a team, 99.5 points. I think the number's short here. And a couple of reasons. I think the white noise around the whole Mitch Marner thing that was with the team all season long last year is now gone. They can focus on playing hockey. And then I think from a divisional perspective, you have teams in their division that I think are going to get off to slow starts. The Boston Bruins. This is a team that the Boston Bruins are in the same boat, as the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think as bad, but this is a team that is projected to get 80 points. 80.5 points is the Bruins projection this year. And this is a team that I think 2 or 3 years ago won the President's Trophy with 132 points. So it is, I think it's going to be a tough season for the Bruins. The Leafs get to play them. The Bruins normally have their number, but this is, I think this is where the Leafs get a leg up on them. And then the Florida Panthers, 2-time Stanley Cup champions. This is a team that is, again, always stacked, but they're pretty much going to go the whole season without Barkov. who has, it looks like, a season-long injury. And Nosek and Matthew Tkachuk are likely going to start the season on long-term injury reserve. So you have a couple big pieces of that team that aren't, and it's another one. It's another next man up scenario for Paul Maurice and the Florida Panthers. But being in that division, I think the two best teams in that division after the injuries, not before the injuries, after the injuries, are going to be Toronto and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I expect a good season from the Tampa Bay Lightning as well, too. I think it's one of those seasons where Florida just wants to get into the playoffs. They'll be one of the top three in the Atlantic. They'll make the playoffs. They know they can win on the road. This team is built for the playoffs, but we're not talking about playoffs. We're talking about the regular season, and over 99.5 points is doable for the Leafs. And you guys know how tough I am on the Leafs, Andy. I am tough on the press.
We've seen and we've heard.
Yeah, the last time the Leafs won the Stanley Cup, Andy, here's some facts for you that you might not have known and the viewers might not have known. The Leafs last won the Stanley Cup in 1967. Gas was 33 cents a gallon. A slice of pizza was 15 cents. There was only 6 teams in the league, and a house cost $14,000. Those are the prices of the last time the Leafs won a Stanley Cup. But apparently they are hockey town, or they'll tell you they are. So I would kill for a 15-cent slice of pizza right now, let me tell you.
It sounds good. Now I'm getting hungry.
But
I'm in their
corner as far as points.
I think the $14,000 house, to be honest with you. That'd be my pick. So
smaller goals for me.
Tell everyone about Puck Time and what you have up for everyone.
Yeah, Puck Time is going to be exciting this year, guys. We kick it off tomorrow, 11 a.m. live. It's always Monday to Fridays unless there are no games on, which oddly enough, on Friday of this week, there are no games. But brand new segments this season. I'm going to do a season-long bankroll builder with a play of the day if one is available. And we will keep a running count on it every single day of the show. More game coverage, much like WagerTalk Today and the way you're running this show, Andy, which is absolutely fantastic. We'll bring in guests like the Prez, Brian Leonard, who does fantastic in NHL, Don Buster, and they'll come on and break down a single game. And then Andrew and I will cover some games as well, too. So it is and of course, the swag. We always have some swag, and we'll do some giveaways. Nice. All season long, but it is the best damn hockey show around. So you got to tune in and watch it. With that said, Andy, I have a great promo. NHL 200. NHL 200 will get you $200 off the entire NHL season. That is a great deal. Likely not going to be any lower than that all season long. So if you want to take advantage of it, NHL 200, and let's kick it off with some winners on the ice tomorrow night.
Love it. Carmine Bianco, it is the best hockey show. Can't wait to get these hockey bets and hockey props in. So thank you, Carmine. Great breakdown for everyone. Before we go, Dan, I just have to give you a shout out. One of your best, if not best weekend of predictions. You navigated Survivor. You gave out like a hellacious, what was it, like a 37-1 parlay. So Dan, you were absolutely on fire.
It was a nice weekend. That's for sure, Andy. And you have to celebrate them when they come along. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the folks who were watching on WagerTalk last call, we gave out the Dallas Goddard anytime touchdown scorer, the Waller anytime touchdown scorer, and then we liked Rashid Shaheed over his longest reception. I didn't expect his longest reception to be like 70 yards, but it certainly was over 19.5, which was just a crazy number that they hung there. So, I mean, especially when you cash for clients, when you give out the free plays here too. It's nice when people give you some props for it, because usually you only hear about the ones that you lose. Even when they're free plays, Andy, why the hell did you give me that prop in your today's free plays that lose? Yeah. So it's nice when you hear the kind words, because in this industry, you don't really get too many kind words.
And we're set up beautifully in Survivor.
Oh, yeah.
You've only used one team that is in the division lead right now, and that's
Yep.
the Colts. So you're
Yep.
set up very
Now
very
the
well.
question is this week, Andy, and we'll be able to talk about it all week long. 14-point favorites, the Green Bay Packers versus the Bengals.
Yep.
Could the craziness happen again this week? Time will tell. Time will tell. I got to look at some stats of the Packers coming off the bye, and then maybe we'll just be
Okay.
locking in that 14. Yeah.
I'm staring hard at that Ravens team. That was my pick, Houston. That was pretty much no sweat.
That was great.
I'm looking at teams to fade. I might be looking at them. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. You know what? I should do an update every week on my fantasy football team. That's the worst fantasy football team ever. I'm losing by 56 points this week. I have not won a game. I have not even been close to winning a game. You could not have drafted a worse team than me. I have already benched my first round pick, Dan. That's how bad it is. He's not hurt. But my first and second round picks are on my bench.
Oof.
That's how terrible this team. When you draft Brian Thomas and Chase Brown 1-2, you're done. My leading scorer this week was my kicker.
It's about as bad as you can do.
My kicker was my leading scorer. It's the worst fantasy football team that has ever disgraced the airwaves. I don't know. All right, that's going to do it for us. NFL Best Bet is up over at wt.buzz/AL. One thing that is going well is our NFL plays. 8-2 run, and we're 6-1 in primetime games. So go grab that. Only one play that we felt good enough to put our own money on. That is up, and we got our 5% UFC Best Bet. That is up. Coming up with great 5% cash on Saturday, and we got one for this Saturday, and I already know we're going to have one for the next Saturday, the way the cards and the lines are. So thanks so much for joining us. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Tell us what bet you like. Tell us what word you struggled to pronounce, and we'll see if I put what words you struggle to pronounce in the comment section. I'll try and pronounce all of them tomorrow. How about that for a gimmick? All right, we're going to do it again tomorrow, noon Eastern at 9 a.m. Pacific. Thanks for joining us. Good luck on all your bets tonight. Take care.